And now we're going to go on to problem number 10. For problem number 10, it's already been factored for you. It's just a matter of remembering what cotangent and cosecant mean. So once again, we set each of the factors equal to 0, which gives us the cotangent of theta equals -1, and the cosecant of theta equals 1/2. Cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So we change cotangent into tangent, which means that instead of equaling -1, it equals 1/-1, which just happens to still be -1. And the tangent equals -1 at 3π/4 and also at 7π/4. So for the cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So we change this into the sine of theta equals the reciprocal of half, which is 2. The sine of theta cannot equal 2, so that answer does not exist. So we're left with only two answers, 3π/4 and 7π/4. So problem number 12 takes up a bit more space. We have the cosine squared of theta minus the sine squared of theta plus the sine of theta equals 0. And now we get to go back and use our identities. We need to recognize that we have a normal sign without a square and a sign with a square. So the cosine squared is the odd man out. But we know what cosine squared is. It is one of our Pythagorean identities. Cosine squared is 1 minus sine squared. So we'll do that substitution and continue on with the rest of the problem. Minus sine squared theta plus sine theta. Adding like terms gets us -2 sine squared theta plus sine theta plus 1 equals 0. I find it difficult to factor when the squared term is negative, so I'm going to multiply everything by -1, which will just change all of our signs. And again, we're going to do a u substitution where u is going to be the sine of theta. So this math problem ends up being 2u squared minus u minus 1 equals 0. And again, we know how to factor that. That is 2u plus 1 times u minus 1. And I want to put that back in terms of sine before I solve it. So it's really 2 sine theta plus 1 times the sine of theta minus 1 equals 0. Then we're going to let each of the factors equal 0 and solve them. So we have that 2 sine theta equals -1. Therefore, the sine of theta equals -1/2. And the sine is -1/2 at 7π/6. And also at 11π/6. And then for the other factor, you end up with sine theta equals 1. That happens exactly once at π/2.